to Aronimink and Newtown Square. A preview where the Sunday Pin you think will be.
Well, the Sunday Pin this last year was right in here.
We have made it known that we would be interested in hosting some sort of a major tournament, either USGA.
I think Jimmy would probably watch the Masters golf tournament. That's my guess.
Great deal. Raph is so well liked, and his name provides a nice rallying point from play.
Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Inside Golf, along with Colleen Wolfe. I'm Harry Donahue, and we're taking a respite from our tour of the Poconos and returning here to Aronimink and Newtown Square, a preview of the AT&T National. And what a star-studded international field it is. Justin Rose, the defending champion, and once again, we're going to get an inside look at Aronimink from Jay Sigel. Jay, a member here at Aronimink. Last year, he gave us a tour of the golf course, and he's back for another look at this challenging Donald Ross layout.
Now, Harry, you also had a chance to head over to North Hills, where the Friends of Bill Raftery were raising some money for LaSalle University basketball.
Bill, a former LaSalle player back in the 60s, now a well-known commentator on ESPN and CBS. Every year he's done this. Every year the money goes up, and so do the challenges and, well, shall we say the rivalry, because not only LaSalle players, but other Big Five schools
That's right.
are represented. Coming up, a preview of the AT&T National from Aronimink as Inside Golf continues.
Inside Golf is brought to you by the Pocono Mountain Visitors Bureau. Life's greater in the Pocono Mountains. Yingling, America's oldest brewery. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where America goes to play. Visit online at phillytomyrtle.com. And by the Philadelphia Section PGA, celebrating 90 years.
The Philadelphia section of the PGA of America is celebrating 90 years. Since 1921, the professionals of the Philadelphia section have proven themselves to be the players, teachers, managers, and stewards of the game of golf in the Philadelphia area. They are the experts in the game and business of golf. Please join us in celebrating our 90-year commitment to the game of golf.
And welcome back to Inside Golf from Aronimink and our preview, year number 2 of the AT&T National. Our host again, Jay Sigel.
Harry,
Jay, good to see you again.
good to be seen.
Jay, longtime member at Aronimink, of course, U.S. Am. I don't know how many times he won that event, and now on the Champions Tour, and gracious enough to give us an inside look at some of the key holes in this year's tournament. Jay, we're standing on the tee at number 17, and from where we are to that flag is about 205 yards. But this is a very flexible par 3, isn't it?
It certainly is, Harry. And of course, the green, the width of the green is certainly substantial, and the pin placements can be moved, but the tees last year, the Sunday, were moved forward and played at 142 yards, which the players didn't yelp, but the scores were higher on Sunday at the shorter distance and the left-hand pin position.
Well, that's amazing. I mean, from 205 yards, you chop off 60 yards. You put a wedge or a 9-iron in the hands of the best golfers in the world, and yet the scores went up.
Right.
That's hard to fathom.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Tiger knocked it over the green, as you can see down here. The pin was in the left corner. He couldn't chip directly at the pin because he's coming out of the deep rough. So he had to play it to the fat part of the green and take his chances from 15, 20 feet.
Wow.
So he made his bogey.
So distance does matter.
Yes.
Not always favorably when you move the tees up. And Jay, before we leave the tee box here at 17, you know, I look out, I can see about 4 or 5 different holes. This is a great spot for spectators.
This I say is key spot on the golf course. You've got 9 tee, you got 17 tee, you got the 10th green, you got the 8th green, you got the 11th tee. A lot of action, a lot of the golfers come in close contact with the spectators. Very, very good.
Yeah, so you can position yourself maybe 100 yards away and be in contact with 4 or 5 holes.
Exactly.
Let's take a look at the green a little closely and see maybe some of the shots that the pros will be facing when they come to number 17 here at Aronimink. Well, Jay, here it is, the left quadrant on this par 3, and that ball basically represents the proximity of the hole during the final round last year.
Right. Yeah, very few birdies.
Now, the ideal pin placement, I guess, regardless of where the tee is in the middle. We'll probably see it there, what, maybe 1 round?
I don't think you'll see it in the middle at all.
the thing I keep coming back to is what you said. When it was here on the left quadrant, from 145 yards, the scores averaged higher than they did the first 3 rounds.
That's right. That's right.
So assuming you come to this hole, Jay, you got a 1-shot lead. You're not chasing that pin necessarily.
No, right
you want to
here.
come right in here.
Pin high, not long where you are.
Right, but unfortunately, you can't always control that.
That's
so
right.
from this distance, and with this little slope, you got an up and down putt, and it's going to pick up speed all the way to the hole.
Correct, and it's probably a 4 or 5 foot break.
Let's see. That better go in.
So it continues.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's another chance to take a look at what happens there. And if you short side yourself there on that putt, tough angle.
Yeah.
Well, let's put it this way. You'll be guaranteed an uphill putt coming back,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
This area over here just rolls right off into the water.
Right.
So like what you said, Tiger, fearing coming out a little heavy, you got no chance.
Anything in the front on this edge here is going to roll back in the water. Will not stop on the bank. The bailout is over there, Harry, and that putt is about a 4 or 5 foot break. It doesn't look it here, but it is very, very severe.
Right. Yeah, well, and right here you got this little mound.
That's right.
So that gives you an idea. Boy, I hardly threw that, Jay, and that thing's rolling pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good throw.
Let's see if I can duplicate it. Whoa.
And of course, with the pin back center, if you're long, you're coming down that hill, that's kind of tough too.
Did they ever tuck it over here on that right side too?
Yes.
Right back?
Yes.
And you have
in that right quadrant.
So then you have a whole nother slope coming into play a little bit toward the center back of the screen.
Right. So distance is not everything, Harry, right?
Right, absolutely. All right, this is 17. The closing hole is a par 4, and it's right behind the grandstand here. Let's take a look at that.
Okay.
Jay, we've made our way a couple steps over here to the AT&T, and as I look at this, how does this set up to your eye? What's the shot you're going to hit from this vantage point?
Well, you got to take that bunker out of play, Harry, and you can't go right because the trees are in place. So a lot of the guys will hit driver over that bunker, given that the wind conditions are correct, and probably a 280 carry, and a little uphill.
From there to the hole?
Yeah, it's probably 145 into the hole, depending on how firm the fairways get. I mean, they were hitting some short irons in there, but the bunker is the key, and the trees on the right and left.
Let's take another vantage point of the green from behind and looking back. All right, Jay, let's use our little prop here, the flagstick here at 18. Give me an idea where the Sunday pin you think will be.
Well, the Sunday pin this last year was right in here.
Okay.
Great for viewing, great for birdie. That's what they really want to have. They want to have a birdie on the last hole Sunday. So it's a fairly flat area, but you don't want to be long. So this was Sunday's last year.
Okay. And then where would you say would be, well, let's put it this way, not an easy pin placement, but more receptive?
Right in here.
Middle right?
This little area that's relatively flat, but all the area around it is sloped. And then a third position would be utilizing this bunker, perhaps on that ridge over there.
So have that bunker come into play a little bit?
Right.
Put it up in here?
Right. Perhaps a little more this way. Yeah.
Okay. Now, I notice as you look at the contour here, and I don't know if we can pick it up with the camera, but there is a bowl effect here.
Yes.
And the recent Open at Congressional, it seemed like a lot of the pins, especially on Sunday, were like collection baskets.
Right. A lot of the greens were back to front, as you could tell, so anything long would gather back down to the hole. A lot of bowl shapes, 2 or 3 different bowl shapes on some of those greens. So it was conducive to hole outs.
Right. And getting the ball very, very close.
Right.
Picking up on the U.S. Open at Congressional, what were your thoughts about Rory McIlroy?
Fabulous. More power to him. He's had it coming, and I'm glad he got the job done. I hoped he'd win by 15 shots, quite frankly. Tremendous talent, and probably should have won a couple other majors.
He seems to have the personality, very congenial, very media friendly, which, as you know, Jay, is pretty important.
Very important.
Very important. Here we are standing on the golf course. Now Jay is going to take us inside the clubhouse. Take a look at the locker room. Here we are. This locker room dates back to when the course opened in the late 20s, right?
Yeah, I think it's one of the best locker rooms you'll see. These lockers are twice the size, can get my size 14s in there.
Easily.
Easily. Plenty
of room up top to put those.
Plenty of room. You open the locker and it doesn't bang into your shoe that's on the ground. Put things under the benches, on top, plenty of room. Fabulous.
Right.
Fabulous.
And it has some amenities. There's a room here where if the guys want to, they can enjoy a little game of pool, right?
Lounge, TVs in there. We got the grill in here. The men's grill.
Now,
grill.
I'm curious now, will each one of these lockers, or a lot of them, be assigned to players during the tournament?
Yes.
And that would be done by the locker room attendant?
Yes. Well, you know, lockers are an issue because many of the events, I mean, the Open had 150 some players. So thinking about lockers for 150, this field 120. So it's not as much an issue. But I know they're very comfortable. Players are very comfortable here.
Now you have a picture you want us to see.
Yeah, kind of interesting.
Let's take a look.
Okay.
Jay, this goes back to July of 1962, the final day of the 44th PGA Championship, and somewhere around the 18th green, Jay Siegel is sitting there hard at work.
Yeah, believe it or not, I was the official scorekeeper at age 18. So I'm up here and you can see my head just behind the announcer, and I can't remember who that was. But it was great fun, and Gary Player won that week with a 4-wood off the tee.
There's Gary in his customary black, and
Yeah.
Bob Golby was playing with him.
Right.
So you had two former Masters champions.
That's right. That's right. It was
On
a
that the final group in
great
1962.
Great success. Look at the gallery. Fabulous.
Right. Jay, thanks again for a little mini tour, 17 and 18, the locker room, and while you were walking out, we got a shot of all those club championships you won here from what?
About 10 years.
10 years in a row.
Right.
Wow. Jay Siegel's name is up there as much as anybody. Good luck to you on the Champions Tour. Hope your back holds up.
Thank you.
And we won't see you next year at Aronimink, but maybe in the future. Who knows what's going to happen here? I know there's a lot of speculation and possibilities for a big event.
A lot of discussion, Harry, yes.
Well, let's hope it comes true. It couldn't be held at a better spot.
Thank you.
We'll be back. Inside Golf continues with more in just a moment.
Experience what golfers voted #1 for quality, selection, and affordability. Over 100 different championship courses, including 7 of America's 100 greatest. Indulge in gourmet cuisine, pristine beaches that offer endless activities, active nightlife, and more. It's an easy drive, and affordable nonstop flights are now available from over 25 cities. Start planning your Myrtle Beach golf vacation today and request a free quick quote for the best package rates. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. It's where America goes to play.
Welcome back to Inside Golf, and our preview of the AT&T Nat'l from Aronimink Golf Club continues. And our host and president of Aronimink is Joe Brooks. Joe, I was just wondering, how much of an inconvenience is this tournament for your members?
Well, it's the infrastructure gets built around the golf course, so we're able to play the golf course from the member standpoint the Friday before the tournament commences. So we're in pretty good shape that way. Guest play, we terminate the week before that. So we lose 2 weeks of guest play and 1 week of member play. So they've been very good about getting in and out of here. The infrastructure gets built up around the golf course. And so that comes down shortly after the tournament, but inside the ropes, we're going to play the Monday after the event is over.
Really?
We'll be right back out on that golf course. So.
You know, this is the second year, the final year, because of the agreement, and next year it goes back to Washington and Congressional. You know, from your standpoint, is anything different, any major changes from last year to this year?
Well, we'd like to build on the success we had last year. We were surprised with the success of the event. I mean, it really exceeded all of our expectations. So there are a few minor tweaks, but essentially we're doing many of the same things. One of the things that we have is we have a support your troops wall out there, and so the patrons and people can come up and sign their name in support of our our military folks and the armed services. So that's an addition, which I think is nice, and we'll have our opening ceremony over there this year. Other than that, we're going to stay with what we had last year, and I think things went very, very well for us.
You talked about the opening ceremony and the wall. That's one of the things that Tiger Woods is going to be involved in. Unfortunately, he won't have a golf club in his hand for the tournament. How much of a setback do you think that will be for this year's event?
Well, I think the people of Philadelphia realized that as we got closer to the tournament, if we didn't hear a word about Tiger, that there was a good possibility he would not come. I do think we've had great support over the last year in the event, and so I think the fans of Philadelphia will come out and support the event. We're looking forward to having some great crowds, and we have a wonderful field again this year. Essentially, mostly everybody that came last year is coming, and we're looking forward to having the event again this year.
A lot of speculation, Joe, about the future of, say, a relationship either with the PGA Tour or the USGA. Can you shed any light on that for us?
Sure. We got a lot of great accolades last year from the media and from the players and the sponsors about the quality of the golf course and its championship capabilities, and we have made it known that we would be interested in hosting some sort of a major tournament, either USGA or PGA. One thing that we don't have any issues on, nobody has any issues on the golf course or the quality of the golf course, and so that box has been checked. And from an infrastructure standpoint, I think folks are very happy with what they see as well. So I think that will come along at its own pace, and so as of this moment, we don't have anything to report, but we're in discussions with some folks.
Enjoy the tournament. I'm sure you will.
It's great. It's great to have it. It's wonderful to have golf back in Philadelphia, and we have so many wonderful golf courses in this area, and we have a great base of support, so it'll be fun to do it again.
All right. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
It's time light beer got some character. 99 calories, 100% authentic lager. Yingling Light Lager from America's oldest brewery. Rethink your light beer.
Guests of Inside Golf enjoy dining at Sin Sin, the popular Asian fusion restaurant located on Germantown Avenue in the heart of scenic Chestnut Hill.
And now it's time for Teed Off, brought to you by Yingling, America's oldest brewery.
You think you can do better in most cases.
Welcome back. Inside Golf continues with Teed Off, and we are adjacent to the 18th hole at beautiful Edgemont Country Club in Delaware County with our panel that's sort of, well, a little bit of a mixed hybrid of sorts of basketball and golf. Jim Lynam started his basketball career at where? MBS in West Philadelphia?
Wow, strong.
I'm going way back, way back. And of course with St. Joe's, and then of course to the NBA, and longtime coach in the National Basketball Association. Speaking of coaches, a Hall of Famer, Herb Magee, Philadelphia University for decades. And he's going to be honored up in Springfield, Mass. with an induction into the Naismith Hall of Fame in the summer. And right next to him is Tony Leodore, not quite a Hall of Famer yet, but well-known golf icon in Philadelphia with Golf Styles magazine and Golf Talk Live on WNTP. Jim, the question of the day is, if Herb Magee had one last event to watch on television, would it be the final round of the Masters, the final game in the NCAA basketball tournament? Would it be maybe the NBA championship final, the Kentucky Derby? I know he likes the ponies. Or, let's keep it in an animal trend, the Westminster Dog Show. What do you think would be number one?
What Herb would like to watch?
What Herb would like to watch.
Without question, Herb would like to watch the NCAA basketball championship. Division II, preferably with himself on the sideline, coaching Philadelphia University to another title.
To another title. That's good. And you know this guy because you were teammates in grammar school and high school and all that sort of thing. All right, Herb, you have equal time. Mr. Lynam, what event would he
First of all, I would
like
say
to
Jimmy would be correct, but if I wasn't in it, then I probably would choose the Masters. I'm going to say Jimmy would. That's interesting. I was going to go Dog Show, but I'm going to change that. Jimmy likes the Kentucky Derby. I'm going to go. I think Jimmy would probably watch the the Masters golf tournament. That's my guess.
The Masters, huh?
Look forward to it every year.
Do you?
Yeah, the matchup to me, to be honest with you, would dictate what I would want to watch.
Yeah.
Like if this were a horse gone for the Triple Crown this year, I would have been dying to watch the Belmont.
Smarty
if it was going to be the 7th game of an NBA, let's say Miami, Dallas, and I don't like watching a lot of live TV. I like to tape it for whatever reason. I like to know that the event has already been decided before I watch it. I don't want to know who won, but that's just the way I am. But I like to watch something where it's a compelling matchup.
Okay. Tony, I'm going to ask you, what would you watch?
Well, believe it or not, there was a day that the one thing I never would want to miss was a heavyweight championship boxing match. But those days are long gone because I can't even tell you who's fighting anymore. But, you know, in the days of Ali Frazier, whatever, you know, that was anticipation for weeks building up
Mike
to that.
Tyson?
Yeah.
Mike Tyson fight would be on that
even,
list?
Yeah. You know, but today, obviously, it's probably going to be a golf one, unless there maybe was a special matchup in the NCAA championship. I might be glued to the television then.
What has been your attraction, Jim, over the years with the game of golf, since this is a golf show? I mean, what gets you out there to play? Is it simple relaxation or the desire to, I want to get better at this game?
The first thing, quite honestly, is just look behind you. I like the setting, you know. It's a very relaxing thing. You know, what we do for a living over the years is, you know, kind of a pressure situation on a pretty consistent basis, and it lets you kind of escape from that. And I think the second part, which Herb had mentioned, is the challenge. I think it's not so much the challenge of the opponent, but the challenge with respect to yourself, that you know you think you can do better in most cases than what you're doing.
You have the drama of the competition in all of the sports, and depending on the matchup, you know, at any time, one could be better. But none of them gives you those things in between the drama or in between the shots or in between the hitting, whatever it might be in it, where you look out at those golf courses, where you're seeing those scenes of Augusta National or Muirfield Village a few weeks ago in just the most pristine condition ever, Congressional at the U.S. Open with what they did there. Every time they pan around those courses, there's that escape factor, and you don't have that in anything else. So that's why golf is special on television.
It's the ultimate beauty shot, except when my swing is being featured, as it is here on Inside Golf occasionally.
It's really, for me, it's a competition. When we get together with all of us and we get in these different groups and we play two best balls or whatever they're playing, it's just tremendous fun. It really is.
And also, Herb, I think unlike other sports where you can level the playing field,
right.
Like I play against Herb, who's obviously a better player. He gives me strokes, not enough, but you know, strokes where it can be somewhat competitive.
And my final thought is his handicap's gone up, so you're in trouble. We'll be back. Inside Golf continues in a moment.
Teed Off has been taped on location at the historic Edgemont Country Club on Westchester Pike, a private club that caters to the community for weddings, outings, parties, and meetings. Find out more about the club that has hosted everyone from Bob Hope to Ed Doherty at Edgemont.com.
The Philadelphia section of the PGA of America is celebrating 90 years. Since 1921, the professionals of the Philadelphia section have proven themselves to be the players, teachers, managers, and stewards of the game of golf in the Philadelphia area. They are the experts in the game and business of golf. Please join us in celebrating our 90-year commitment to the game of golf.
Colleen Wolf's wardrobe is provided by Adidas, the leader in men's and women's apparel for the athletic golfer.
Welcome back to Inside Golf. Recently, Bill Raftery, the college basketball analyst, returned to help LaSalle University basketball raise some money. He hosted the annual Friends of Bill Raftery outing at North Hills Country Club. He raised money, and Bill found out exactly how many friends he has. Bill, this is what, 9th year for this Friends of Bill Raftery outing?
I believe so. If we counted them by the beverage, it would be far excess of 9, of course.
Would be up to 90.
Maybe. That would be just one individual, I'm sure. But
Billy DeMarco, one of the organizers, said he has a chance maybe of reaching 6 figures to present to Coach Giannini. That's a nice little lump.
Well, you know, it's interesting. LaSalle's always been a place where I like the style. John wants to win, and we'd love to see him win. And yet, we like the way he deals with the program, the kids. He's a perfect fit.
What's it mean to you in LaSalle basketball?
It means a great deal. Raft is so well liked, and his name provides a nice rallying point from players and alums from a bunch of different eras to come back. We have guys from the 50s all the way up through the 2000s here, and of course LaSalle has a great basketball tradition. So you have a lot of people here with great LaSalle memories, great stories, and people who love LaSalle. And it's just wonderful to get together and support the university and the program.
I love the diversity of this. Herb McGee is playing right behind you now. He's a Hall of Famer. He's royalty. Right. You got some St. Joe's guys here. It's quite a cross-section of Philadelphia basketball.
Well, Dunphy usually comes at night, so we get Frank. Of course, he's got 2 connections, you know, 3 when you think of Penn and now Temple, obviously, and LaSalle. But
Billy Melchione's here.
There's so many guys we competed against and got to know very well.
Now, you're being honored by the Friends of Bill Raftery. I didn't even think I know he does pretty good, but I didn't even think he had enough money to pay this many people to come out here for this thing.
No, I didn't know he had this many friends, but to be honest with you, the reason I'm here is because they want to honor me, but the main reason I'm here is for Billy. But Billy's the best. And, you know, if you stick around for the dinner and he goes on and on and on, no one minds because he's so entertaining.
Did you teach him how to shoot?
No one could. He never took anything serious, including this game.
And we're also proud of Herbie, who played on our gold medal tournament after the season, our senior year, and we used to get a lot of laughs. We say, Herbie, you can't start because you didn't play in the Big 5. What do you mean? I'm the best shooter out here. And he was right.
Some things never change.
But we did get him in quickly.
You know, I've often wondered this. You do so much for ESPN and for CBS in basketball. Did you ever want Frank Cherkinian to call you up and say, go with Vern and get it to 17th Tower for Augusta?
Well, Frank didn't, and I think a kiss off the grass would be perfect, don't you? In the lexicon. That'd be big at the Masters, don't you think?
But what today is best for is just sharing the enthusiasm for LaSalle and letting people know what's going on and reminiscing a little bit. It's just an overall good feeling from a place that a lot of people love.
Well, Harry, it looks like you and Bill Raftery had a good time over there at North Hills, and I hope they raised a lot of money.
How can you not have a good time with Bill Raftery? And we want to thank our hosts here at Aronimink, Jay Sigel and Joe Brooks, for giving us a little bit of an inside look at the upcoming AT&T Nat'l. Hope to see you out here at Aronimink for that. And what's up next week?
Next week, we're back in the Poconos. It's our last week up there, and we're going to check out Pocono Manor for the 2nd year in a row.
And are you going to get a lesson in the game of golf?
We'll see. We'll see.
I think it's worth tuning in, folks. That's going to do it for this week's edition of Inside Golf from Aronimink. And remember, no matter how bad it's going for you out there, don't pick up. For Colleen Wolfe, I'm Harry Donahue. See you next time on Inside Golf.
Inside Golf has been brought to you by the Pocono Mountain Visitors Bureau. Life's greater in the Pocono Mountains. Yingling, America's oldest brewery. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where America goes to play. Now fly nonstop on Spirit Airlines. Details at phillytomyrtle.com. And by the Philadelphia Section PGA, celebrating 90 years.